Frozen to death when winter said, "You weaklings." Opening, hey, have you ever felt the coldest in your life? Chiang Mai in December? A trip to Japan during snowfall? Sitting in an air-conditioned room at 660 degrees Celsius, wrapped in a blanket, shivering? Pathetic. Today I'm taking you to a level of colds so brutal that it makes all that look like a warm hug. Pee midair and it turns into an ice pop before hitting the ground. Ah! Sweat turns into ice on your clothes. Order iced tea, leave it for 10 seconds, and it's frozen solid. And worst of all, stand still for too long and you die, frozen in that exact pose. Wars of the past didn't just kill soldiers with bullets or bombs. Sometimes the weather was the most merciless killer of them all. Today, I'm taking you through some of the coldest, most horrifying military disasters where thousands of soldiers didn't die in battle, but froze to death in the dumbest poses possible. Ah! Napoleon's army, frozen solid 1812. Let's rewind to 1812, when Napoleon Bonaparte, the Emperor of France, was at his peak. He thought he was the greatest military genius ever. I am war itself. But guess what? He fucked up. Badly. The guy got cocky and decided to invade Russia. I'll march to Moscow, I'll take down the Russian Empire. So he gathered a massive 600,000-man army and marched from France to Russia. He thought it would be an easy victory, but he forgot one crucial thing. Russia doesn't just fight with soldiers, it fights with nature. The burn everything strategy, scorched earth strategy, the Russians weren't dumb. They knew they couldn't fight Napoleon head on, so they played dirty. Retreat, but burn everything behind us! Napoleon's troops arrived to find nothing but ruins. Destroy their own food supply. The French had no food. Evacuate the people. The French found only ghost towns. They marched 10 kilometers and found nothing. They marched 100 kilometers, still nothing. They marched 500 kilometers. Oh shit, we've been tricked. And their supplies were running out. No food, no water. Soldiers started dropping dead. Napoleon began realizing, shit, we're in deep trouble. And then November arrived. Hello, motherfuckers, it's Russian winter time. The hell is the lippy tasty? At first it was just a little chilly. But when temperatures dropped below the third, game over. Leather boots, useless. The ground was harder than steel. Water? Didn't need to boil it. Wait 10 seconds and it turned to ice. Bam! For 5 minutes and your fingers stuck to it. Weak soldiers collapsed in the snow and never got up again. A French soldier wrote, "We knew who was dead because they didn't fall, they just stood there frozen in place." The army started seeing corpses frozen in weird poses. Some had their mouths open mid-scream, frozen like a horror movie jump scare. Some were still holding their rifles like statues from a war memorial. Some were mid-frozen, mid-walk like someone pressed pause. At first, they tried to bury the dead, but the ground was rock solid. They couldn't even dig graves, so they just left the bodies standing there. Napoleon's army literally walked through a frozen graveyard of their own men. No food left. So they ate each other. At first, they killed horses and ate them. Then when the horses were gone, they ate their leather boots. Then when even that was gone, they started looking at each other. Yes, cannibalism. There are accounts that some soldiers woke up in the morning to see, "Holy shit, my friend is chewing on our other friend's leg. What the fuck? Is this a war or a zombie apocalypse?" Some corpses disappeared entirely because they'd been eaten. By the end of it, out of 600,000 soldiers, only 50,000 made it home. The rest, frozen statues, dead in ridiculous poses. Japan! Turning into human ice pops in Manchuria, 1945. Fast forward to 1945, World War II. Japan got cocky, thinking they could take over China and the Pacific. But then, the Soviet Union entered the war. The Red Army came crashing into Manchuria with 1.6 million soldiers. The Japanese had no choice. Retreat! Retreat! But where the fuck do they retreat to? China? Nope. Communist troops were there. Korea? Nope. The US was bombing the shit out of it. Siberia? Wait, are you sure about this, bro? Because Siberia is literally the coldest inhabited place on Earth. And these poor Japanese soldiers walked straight into minus 40 degrees Celsius weather. Exhale, and your breath turns into solid ice in midair. Walk a little, and your sweat freezes onto your clothes. Pee? You could get an ice sculpture instantly. And guess what? Thousands of them froze to death on the spot. They died in ridiculous poses. Some were still holding rifles, frozen in their battle stance. Some fell with hands on the ground. Looked like they were mid-push-up. Some died hugging themselves. Like frozen statues of a guy who just realized he's fucked. And the worst part? They used their dead comrades' frozen bodies as walls to block the wind. Literal human ice bricks. Some even burned corpses to stay warm. Let that sink in. They had no firewood left. They set dead bodies on fire just to survive. Thousands died, not from bullets, not from bombs. From the simple fact that minus 40 degrees Celsius is unforgiving as fuck. Closing, war is brutal, but trust me, nature is even worse. Bullets might miss, but 40 degrees never does. You don't have to be shot, you just have to stand there and you die. You might fight an enemy army, but you cannot fight Russian winter. So if you don't want to freeze to death in a stupid pose, wear a damn jacket. And if you liked this podcast, hit follow, or else your air conditioner might accidentally drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius tonight. See you next time, you weaklings! The end! This is the long, funny, and slightly vulgar version. If you want even more craziness, let me know.